Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Lisa and this is Lisa's Way of Life. This is an update video to tell you what's been happening in the last 36 hours since I updated and recorded a video for you on Wednesday. Thursday, we did end up picking up my brother-in-law from the airport. He was due in at 11 p.m. His plane arrived 15 minutes early, and because we ended up entering into the wrong terminal, we had to drive around the airport and come back and get into the right terminal to pick him up. Once we left the airport, we were traveling down the freeway, and there ended up being a major accident the way we were heading, and we were stopped for 45 minutes to an hour in a construction zone which has the concrete barriers on either side, protecting from the median and the outside of the highway. There were no passing lanes, there was no shoulder to pass on, etc., etc. And we were about 150 feet from the actual accident scene when all the police officers showed up and the wrecker trucks, tow trucks. We sat there for about an hour waiting for them to clear, and by the time we got home, it was about 1:30 in the morning. So what should have been a round trip of about an hour and a half took almost 3 hours. We got home around 1:30. We started visiting and catching up and having a great time. And before we knew it, it was 5 a.m. Mike, my husband, and my brother-in-law Matt went to bed, and because I had to take my son to work at 7 a.m., I ended up staying awake. I took my son to work, got home about 8 o'clock, and by 8:15, I was asleep, dead ass asleep on the couch. 3 hours later, I get a phone call from my mom, which woke me up, which is not a bad thing because I needed to be awake. Once I talked to her for a few minutes, I got to going back into the cleaning and organizing and just making all the last minute preparations for my mother-in-law and father-in-law to show up for about 6 p.m. on Friday. Sometime in the afternoon, my daughter Kate and I went grocery shopping at Walmart. And I had thought about, okay, once I pick up my groceries, I promised to make a grocery haul video. But because I'd gotten 3 hours sleep in 24 hours, I had complete brain fog and fuzz, and I forgot to film it. So I'm going to show you my herb garden and what I plan on planting very soon and repotting and putting in the corners of my garden beds. So here we go. Instead, I'll show you all my little seedlings that we've been talking about. So you can see these are my cayennes. They're tiny, but they're growing, and I've actually gotten them out hardening off so I can plant them sooner rather than later. Those 5 are from my green peppers. Okay, aren't they cute? You can see they're facing towards the sun, so I have to, and by the way, I have to water these. Okay, so this was the original big pan that I started these in. You can see that they're the seed starter trays. So the first 4, obviously it says 4, are red peppers. And if you flip the tray around, this is how I always tag my stuff. The other 8 in that group of 12 are jalapenos. Okay, so those are all my peppers. I tried to find hot peppers, but apparently they are a hybrid, so you can't actually start the hot banana peppers from seed. So I ended up having to buy them. So you can see that they're huge and ready to plant. So I've just been taking a few days to make sure they're hardened off and they can handle the weather. You can actually, where's my camera? You can actually, see if it'll focus, see the little flower bud in there, right in the center. Right there. That's a little flower bud waiting to open. Okay. So then I got started late on my tomatoes. Sorry, I'm scooting back. So here you can see I have about 18 tomato plants, and I believe 2 of them did not take. Okay. So the first The first 8 are the super sauce hybrid tomatoes. The 6 in the these 6 in the middle row. I'm sorry. The 6 in the middle row are beefsteak. And then if you turn this around, the 4 in the corner here are golden cherry tomatoes. So they're going to be, I hope, hopefully super sweet. And they'll be golden cherry tomatoes instead of red. Now you can see from times past where I've planted chamomile, and I just keep writing over and sticking them over, and I reuse my trays every year. So when you want to do organic gardening and you want to keep reusing your trays, and I'll keep all these little pots because they're beautiful sizes, what you do is you once you've planted and you're ready to use your pots again to say if I want to put these little seedlings in those pots, you're going to have to let them soak in a sink full of water with a generous amount of vinegar, white vinegar, okay, in the sink. You're going to let those pots soak for like a good 30 to 45 minutes, as many as you can fit in the sink at a time. And then I wash them out with a cloth. Then I use, I don't use soap and water because you don't want the residue. And then you rinse them really, really well, and you let them air dry. And they're ready to plant. They're ready to go for the next planting. So I'll save all these because these are beautiful sized containers. Okay, so let's make a long story short. I'm just going to show you, because I told you I didn't start my seeds properly in time. I have 2 plants of the flat leaf parsley, and there's actually 6 total. So there's 3 in each pot. This is, English thyme. Oh my gosh, you guys, English thyme. This smells so good. These, and I have 2 of those. These are my rosemary plants. So when we cook steak and butter, we can put sprigs of the rosemary in with them, and a lot of chefs do that, and it's gonna be great, okay? And then I've got 2 sweet basils. All right, and they smell wonderful, and my cats love them. They've been trying to eat them. And then my lavender plants died last year, so I've got 2 more lavenders. And then my last are 2 onion chives, and I actually picked the thickest, bushiest ones I could find. And then I'm gonna stand up, because yeah, that's how I roll. This is my garage. Sorry for the mess. The green pots, that's what I'm going to plant all these in. So I've actually got underneath that tarp, I've got a bag of dirt, and then I also have a bag of the seed starting mix. So I'm going to mix those together, probably with a little bit of perlite. That's like the white foamy stuff, almost like if you took the peanuts and crunched them up. I don't know that it's styrofoam, but it looks like crunched up styrofoam pieces. And then I'm probably going to get a couple bags of compost, and I'll mix all that together and make my own mix, put them in the pots, replant all my little babies into those pots, and set them out in the corners of my garden beds. All right, so sorry about the haul. We'll have to try that again another time. And it was great seeing you guys. Please like, share, subscribe. That'll help me grow my channel. I would love it if you guys would do that, and I'll be happy to shout out you too. You guys have a great night.